The mimosa glass was sticky when my nephew Ethan pressed it into my hand. "Grandma says that's your job," he said, getting refills. The Sunday brunch chatter at my mother's house stopped. 12 family members stared at me. My mother, seated at the head of the table in the chair that used to be my father's, smiled. "Well, Anna, you were standing right by the kitchen. It's not like Ethan was wrong." My sister Lauren laughed. "Mom, that's terrible. But I mean," she gestured at me, then at the kitchen doorway. "You're literally right there." My brother-in-law joined in. "It's just efficient, really." Uncle Paul chuckled. "Division of labor. Some of us work, some of us serve. Always been that way." The table erupted in laughter, not uncomfortable laughter, genuine amusement. Ethan looked proud, like he'd accomplished something clever. I set the glass down on the table, collected my purse from the hall closet, and walked out the front door. "Anna, where are you going?" Mom called after me. "We're about to serve the frittata." I didn't answer. I got in my car and drove home. The text came at 8:34 p.m. "Mom, finally left. Good. You were making everyone uncomfortable with your attitude." I stared at the message, sitting in my home office surrounded by the property files I managed for my real estate portfolio, 15 properties across the city. The most valuable one being the 3-bedroom colonial at 482 Riverside Drive. My mother's house. The one I purchased outright for $425,000 after Dad died, and Mom couldn't afford to keep it. The one where she lived rent-free for 6 years while I paid the property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. The one she believed she owned. When Dad died, the house had still carried a $380,000 mortgage. Mom's income as a retired teacher couldn't cover it. She'd been 3 months from foreclosure when I'd stepped in. I'd bought the house from the bank, cleared the debt, and told Mom she could live there as long as she wanted. "It's your home," I'd said. "I just want to make sure you never have to worry about losing it." She'd hugged me, crying, "You're saving my life, Anna. I'll never forget this." 6 years later, she'd forgotten completely. She told people my house and my property. She'd refinanced in her mind, rewritten history where she'd somehow managed to keep the house herself, where I was just her unmarried, childless daughter who did something with property management. She'd never asked for details. He typed back, "Like your house deed?" 3 dots appeared immediately, disappeared, appeared again. "Mom, what are you talking about?" I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my laptop and pulled up the deed for 482 Riverside Drive. Owner, Anna Margaret Chen. Purchase date, March 15, 2019. No mortgage, no liens, fully paid. I opened a new document and began drafting a formal letter. To Patricia Chen, resident. From Anna Chen, property owner. Rear. Notice to vacate premises. This letter serves as formal notice that your occupancy of the property located at 482 Riverside Drive must terminate within 30 days, per state law regarding month-to-month tenancy. I finished the letter, saved it as a PIF, and sent it to my attorney with a note. "Rush process this. I want it delivered by courier this evening. Cost is not a concern." My attorney Marcus called within 10 minutes. "Anna, I'm looking at this notice. You're evicting your mother?" "I'm ending a month-to-month tenancy agreement." "Does she know she's a tenant?" "The notes on the property say she thinks she owns it." "That's not my problem. She's been living there rent-free for 6 years. I've been paying all expenses. I can terminate the arrangement anytime I choose." "Anna, this is going to destroy your family." "My family destroyed itself when they decided I was the help." Silence on his end. What happened? I told him about brunch, about Ethan and the glass, about the laughter, about Mom's text. "Jesus," Marcus said quietly. "Okay, I'll have a courier deliver it tonight. But Anna, I have to tell you, this is going to get ugly. Your mother can fight this. She might claim she has a verbal agreement, some kind of life estate. She has nothing in writing. Every document lists me as the sole owner. She's never paid rent, never contributed to expenses. Legally, she's a guest in my property. I can terminate her occupancy with proper notice. 30 days is the minimum, but 30 days is what I'm giving her." "All right, courier will deliver by 9 p.m. The call started at 9:47 p.m. "Mom, I let it go to voicemail." She called again. By 10 p.m., she called 11 times. At 10:15, a text. "Call me now. This letter you sent is some kind of joke." I replied, It's not a joke. You have 30 days to vacate 482 Riverside Drive. Mom, I own this house. Me? And I've owned it for 6 years. Those are different things. I turned off my phone and went to bed. Monday morning, my office phone rang at 7:45 a.m. My sister, Lauren. Anna, what the hell is wrong with you? Good morning, Lauren. Don't good morning me. Mom called me sobbing last night. She says you're evicting her? From her own house? It's not her house. It's my house. Check public property records if you don't believe me. You can't just kick Mom out. I can. I own the property. She lives there rent-free by my grace. I'm terminating that arrangement. Over a stupid joke at brunch? Over years of being treated like staff in a house I own and pay for. Ethan's comment was just the final straw. Mom needs that house. She's 72 years old. Then maybe you should offer her a room at your place. You seemed pretty comfortable laughing yesterday when she said serving drinks was my job. Lauren's voice softened, almost pleading. Anna, please, you're being cruel. Mom can't afford to move. She's on a fixed income. She's been on a fixed income for 6 years. I've been covering her housing costs that entire time. Maybe it's time someone else in the family stepped up. You make more money than any of us. You can afford to let her stay. I could afford to let her stay. Past tense. I can't afford to keep housing someone who treats me with contempt. Anna. Lauren, the decision is made. Mom has 30 days. Use that time to figure out where she'll go. I hung up. By noon, I had 17 missed calls from various family members. Uncle Paul left a voicemail calling me heartless. My cousin Jennifer texted, calling me a disgrace to the family. At 2 p.m., my mother showed up at my office building. Security called before she reached the elevators. There's a Patricia Chen in the lobby demanding to see you. She's quite upset. Should we send her up? Give her a visitor badge? Mom arrived at my office door 5 minutes later, her face blotchy from crying. She looked older than I'd ever seen her. Anna, please. We need to talk about this. I gestured to the chair across from my desk. She sat. There's nothing to talk about, Mom. I gave you formal notice. You have 30 days. This house has been my home for 30 years. Your father and I raised you kids there. Every memory I have. Every memory you have is still yours, but the house is mine. I don't understand how this happened. How did you buy it without me knowing? You knew, Mom. You were there when I paid off the mortgage. When I handled the title transfer. You just chose to forget because it was easier to believe you'd somehow kept the house yourself. She looked down at her hands. I thought you were helping me. I didn't realize you were buying it out from under me. I wasn't buying it out from under you. I was saving you from foreclosure. You were 3 months from losing everything. I spent $425,000 to make sure you had a place to live. And I never asked you for rent, never asked for help with property taxes, insurance, or repairs. I've paid for everything. Then why are you taking it away now? Because yesterday you taught your grandson that serving people is my job. Because you texted me finally left. Like you were relieved I was gone from my own property. Because for 6 years you've taken my generosity and convinced yourself it never happened. Anna, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. You did mean it, Mom. That's the problem. This wasn't one comment. This has been building for years. You've introduced me to your friends as my daughter who never got married. You've told people you do something with apartments. You've made jokes about me being the family's charity queso while living in a house I bought. She started crying again. I don't know where to go. That's not my problem to solve anymore. Anna, please, give me more time. Let me find something. 30 days isn't enough. I pulled up my calendar. I can give you 60 days, but there are conditions. She looked up hopefully. Anything. You'll apologize to me in front of the entire family, not privately. Publicly, you'll explain that I own the house, that you've been living there rent-free, and that you treated me poorly despite my generosity. Anna, those are my terms. 60 days instead of 30, but you acknowledge the truth to everyone. She wiped her eyes. When? This Sunday, family dinner. Everyone who was at brunch. What if I refuse? Then you have 30 days as originally stated. She sat in silence for a long moment. Fine, I'll do it. And Mom? When you're packing, you might want to look in the file cabinet in the spare bedroom, the one where I keep copies of all the property documents. You'll see the original foreclosure notice from the bank. You'll see the payoff statement. You'll see exactly how close you were to losing everything before I stepped in. After she left, I sat at my desk and looked out over the city. 15 properties. Years of careful investing. Financial security I built myself while my family assumed I was barely scraping by. My phone buzzed with a text from Lauren. Mom told me about your conditions. Making her apologize publicly? That's sadistic. I replied, making me refill drinks while everyone laughed? That was just Sunday brunch. Funny how perspective works. When I arrived at Lauren's house, neutral territory, the same 12 family members from brunch were gathered around the dining table. The conversation died when I walked in. Anna's here, Mom said quietly. She looked exhausted. Everyone found their seats. The tension was thick enough to cut. Mom stood up, gripping the back of her chair. I need to say something to everyone. She took a breath. Last Sunday, there was an incident at brunch. My grandson Ethan handed Anna a glass for refills. I made a comment implying that was her job. Everyone laughed. The table was silent. What I didn't tell any of you is that the house where we had brunch, the house I've been calling my house for 6 years, isn't mine, it's Anna's. She bought it in 2019 when I was 3 months from foreclosure. She paid $425,000 to save me from losing my home. She's paid all the property taxes, insurance, and maintenance ever since. I've never paid rent. I've lived there completely free. I watched my sister's face go pale. Uncle Paul's mouth literally fell open. Anna gave me notice to vacate because I've been treating her like hired help for years while living in her house. She initially gave me 30 days. She's now giving me 60 days because I agreed to tell all of you the truth. Lauren found her voice. Mom, you told us you refinanced. You said you worked out a deal with the bank. I lied, or I deluded myself. I'm not sure which, but Anna saved me, and I repaid her by treating her like she was beneath us. Mom turned to me. Anna, I'm sorry. I'm deeply sorry. You've been nothing but generous, and I've been cruel and dismissive. I taught my grandson to disrespect you. I let everyone laugh at you in your own property. You deserve better. The room stayed silent for a long moment. Then I said, thank you for saying that, Mom. She sat down, and I could see her hands shaking. Ethan, who'd been sitting quietly, spoke up. Aunt Anna, I'm sorry too. I didn't know. Grandma told me that's what you do, but she was wrong. I looked at the 8-year-old. Thank you, Ethan. Just remember that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their job or their money. Dinner was awkward. People avoided eye contact. Lauren tried to make conversation about the weather, but it fell flat. As I was leaving, Mom caught me at the door. I meant what I said. I'm sorry, and Anna, she paused. I'm proud of you, of what you've built. I should have said that years ago. You should have, I agreed, but you said it now. That counts for something. Do I really have to move out? I looked at her, 72, tired, scared. We'll talk, I said. But things have to change. Real change, she nodded. I understand. I drove home thinking about refills and property deeds, and the difference between what people think they own and what they actually have. Some people own houses. Some people own the truth. And some people learn, eventually, to tell the difference.